Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to Financial Lovemaking. This is where we talk about love, life, money, and everything in between. I'm here with my buddy, partner, and co-host out of Essence. Or sorry, wait.
Woo! No, I love Essence. I used to work.
Should I? You know, I said.
And I'm currently the entertainment and lifestyle director of Ebony Magazine.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, it's all good. Today we are talking about someone who's actually a big figure in pop culture, Jada Pinkett-Smith. She's in a new series debuting on the Fox network in September called Gotham. And, you know, currently in LA, they're doing rounds for the Television Critics Association. It's called the TCAs. It's basically where they have all of the networks come and present all of their shows. I've been able to attend a few in the past. It's really awesome. You can interview like everyone from an A-lister to, you know, the new and up-and-coming person. When I went, I think last year, I got to interview Chris Rock and Don Cheadle and LL Cool J, so it was really awesome. But this year, Jada Pinkett was, you know, one of the big celebrities there. And, you know, of course, people always want to know about your personal life. So Jada dished a little bit about what's been the glue keeping her and Will Smith together. They've been together now for 18 years.
Wow, that's a long
18
time.
years. And Jada's answer was really simple. She said, you have to be a soldier for your love. And, you know, Sade had a song with that title a few years ago. It's one of my favorites. And, you know, people were really impressed by that. You know, the Smiths are known for their loyalty towards each other, but also for being able to work collaboratively financially, right? So they executive produced and co-created various projects from films to television shows, and even Jada toured musically. Their kids have had projects. So they really ride for each other. What do you think about that, Boyce, being a soldier for love?
Well, absolutely. When I asked my father one time, my father's been married for 40 years. And one time I asked him, I said, well, what's the secret to being married for 40 years? And he said, the secret to being married 40 years is that I didn't get divorced.
Yeah.
And it's very simple, and it's almost annoyingly simplistic, but it's true. You know, I love my dad because he always had a very clear philosophy in life that if you want something, you just do it. You stop making excuses for why you didn't do it. In life, most of the time, you have a choice. You either get what you want or you get an excuse in its place. And excuses give you psychological value, but they don't give you actual real value.
Results, right.
And most people have to also understand, I think the term warrior of love is appropriate because anytime you go through something that lasts that long, like 18 years like Will and Jada, you feel like a warrior because you have gone through hell and back most of the time. You know, if you think about a soldier, imagine a soldier who is riding home from the battlefield. We envision this as this sort of image of romantic glory, that he's just feeling strong and big. And he's not. He's scarred. He's wounded. He's seen his friends die right next to him. He's been severely injured. Maybe he's lost a limb. You know, he's got severe psychological trauma. He's gone through hell and back. So he deserves the accolades of being a successful warrior because he went through something where a lot of people would have quit, a lot of people wouldn't have tried, and a lot of people didn't make it, and he survived.
Absolutely.
So I think that term soldier of love or warrior, I think is so perfect.
When I think of warriors and soldiers, three qualities or characteristics that you have to chisel kind of come to mind. One is discipline, the other is resilience, and the last is courage. I think when you are dealing with another party, you know, we always think in romantic love and then long-term marriage that there's like you said, some magic formula, you know, but it's not. It's really just saying that I'm going to stay and do the work. And we know Jada and Will's relationship has been, you know, public since they started dating. But there are a lot of issues that come up that will come up in every marriage, right? You have rumors. You have money problems, whether they're big or small. You know, they both had projects that were hits and projects that weren't. They had children, so they also had problems in terms of people making judgment calls about, you know, their parenting style. They also had stepchildren because Will was married before and he had a son. So that whole step parenting blended family issue came up too, where you have to kind of find out what works. So I definitely think, Will and Jada have earned their warrior stripes. And all we can do is hope that it continues to go strong if it's truly a healthy and happy situation. And I think that, our listeners definitely want to take some of the, like I said, the basic tenets and apply it to their personal lives. Being resilient when trouble arises, having discipline in terms of saying I'm going to stick to, being in this relationship and doing the work on myself, not just pointing the finger and saying, he needs to change or she needs to change, improving yourself as a person and having the courage to believe that, if I stay, regardless of how it looks right now, things will get better. I'm going to take a leap of faith. What are your final thoughts, Boyce?
Well, I think the best thing that Will Smith ever said that I really appreciate. He's a smart guy. I've never met him, but he did. But I respect he and Jada because he supported the mass incarceration campaign that Russell Simmons and I did last year. And one of the brightest things I ever heard him say was he talked about his marriage, his first marriage, and why it didn't work. And he said, back at that time, I used to be go, go, go when it came to my career. I would push, push, push on anything that had to do with being successful. But he said what would happen is I would give my relationships my extra time, whatever time I had left. And the thing is, when you're a person that's that busy, you don't have any extra time. So those things that aren't getting your primary attention are going to be sort of left to themselves to whittle and die. And what he realized is that everything that matters in your life has to get 100% of your energy. I mean, you've got to be go, go, go in everything that matters to you. And even to this day, part of my life philosophy is kind of shaped in that idea that anything that matters to me, I have it on a list, and I make goals related to those things that matter. If you're not on the list, then you don't exist. I know I sound like Johnny Cochran. So, but that's the point. So, right. There you go. Right. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. But I think that's probably the cleanest thing anybody can gain from Will and Jada is that to be that soldier of love, to have that long relationship, get the romantic stuff out of your head and stop thinking it's going to be wonderful, happily ever after, flowers, cookies, and candy every day. It's not. It's going to be grit and grind and very tough. If you want that flowers, cookie, and candy life, then you do what a lot of people do. You jump from 1 6-9 month relationship after another, and you throw it out when it's boring to you anymore. I mean, because that's what people do now, right? They just renew their partners, and I'm not judging that, but I'm saying if you want your grandma's marriage or your what your parents had, you got to realize that you're going to battle and you got to be a warrior for love. So.
You got to be a straight rider. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us, Boyce. And as always, we're interested in hearing what you guys, listeners, have to say. So write in and tell us why I'm right.
Oh, please. Bye.